Welcome to Waxing the Porpoise, the podcast that dives deep into the unexplored depths of cinema and occasionally the unexplained. This week, G-Baby and the usual suspect Steve will attempt to unravel the mysteries, complexities, and emotional nuances of the somewhat forgotten gem, Devil in a Blue Dress from 1995, which stars none other than Denzel Washington, one of the most highly revered patron saints of this program. Join us as we discuss 1940s post-World War II racial tensions in Los Angeles, pay our respects to Tom Sizemore, and flashback to some of our favorite past roles of his.
Do not come.
And finally, Steve shares with us a trifecta of Amazon reviews that will be sure to tickle your OK Boomer bone. The porpoises, midnight companions and keen observers, once again find themselves plunged into the depths of the silver screen as we attempt to avoid cinematic detours in post-war Los Angeles with the finesse and swagger only Denzel can bring. Ezekiel Easy Rawlins, such a badass fucking name.
Business is business.
Stand on it.
Let's wax this porpoise in a blue dress.
Chase, don't do that.
You see, we working on his brow chakra. We're just back in the crown chakra.
I don't think I'm going to leave this in the episode. Maybe. We'll see. I just wanted to show you this real quick. You're either going to love it or hate it.
Dude, that Stavros clip. Fuck. That hit me so hard. And
he looked like there was a couple points he was like really in pain. Like he was having, like that was really fucking with him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had shown Brittany that clip before. And so I was like, oh, check this out. It doesn't show the clip, but it's him reacting to it. And she's like, no, I can't. I don't want to. Because it fucked with her that bad.
It was rough even seeing the reactions because it forces your mind to think about the images that they're seeing to react like that. So I was just like, oh, dude, I remember when you sent that, I had no fucking clue that was coming. And I felt like Jimbo Shane must have when being told him, what about your dad's dick? I was like disgusted on a level I hadn't reached before, I don't think, because that was so hard.
Well, because he had that big reaction where he's gagging and shit, and I could tell just by listening to the videos, like he hasn't even eaten it yet. He hasn't even eaten it. He just shit on it, and he's already gagging.
Yeah, he even was saying like the biggest thing was how fast it came out.
Yeah,
was the thing that was really bothering him.
It's immediate. So gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never forget that.
Yeah. All right. So this is something my 16-year-old nephew, he watches. He's kind of a gamer, and he follows a couple of these streamers now that are real popular these days. And this guy is like lighting up the charts. Like he's like the number one streamer right now in like the last 6 months. His name's Jinxie. He's this 22-year-old man child. So you're either going to love it or hate it, but this shit, there's one point that I thought was just really funny, and it's just kind of a glimpse into this weird, like highly toxic, I don't know, lifestyle of these 18 to 25-year-old people that just live online playing Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Yeah, there's one point that really.
You're dead. You're dead already. You're dead already. You're dead already. You're dead. You did it. I get it back, get him and do it again. I'm fucking a friend. There's no way in God's green earth you did it again. Shout out Lil Tecca, and got away with it. So let me get this straight, dumbass. You have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a 1-bullet pistol. You are not James Bond. Shut the fuck up. Okay, you are James Bond. Milk my titties. Back to the day. Back-to-back one taps. I don't even think I've ever done that with a pistol.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. That guy is a character. That's for sure.
The fucking hitting the shit just sends me every time.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on a second. Boom. Okay.
Yeah, that seems like a dude that would be cool to hang out with.
All right. Devil in a blue dress on.
Dude, I kept singing that in my head too, and I don't like that song. And
is that Wilson Pickett?
I don't know.
Who is that? I need to find that out. Yeah, I got that song. Obviously, the title makes you think of it, but yeah, it was just churning in my head the last couple days.
The same thing happened to me when we did the Midnight Hour. That song,
yeah,
except that song rips. So
I think that's Wilson Pickett because this is
really?
Devil. Devil is a blue dress is Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels.
Cool.
Fee fee fi fo fo fum. Dude, were you able to find a good link?
I ended up using my brother-in-law's Prime account.
Nice.
Like, I don't want to fuck around with all this nonsense. Go to virus.net.
Yeah, it is pretty sketchy, but I mean, hasn't got me yet.
Yeah, I don't think they go after the consumer. I think they go after the source.
Yeah. I think the only thing they can really do to people like you and I just abusing it is or using it is contact your ISP. If they catch you through the filter, you just happen to get the finger pointed on you, they can go to your ISP and they can serve you like I think it's like similar to like a cease and desist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like threaten to pull your fucking. Yeah. I think that's the nice thing about like illegal streaming these days. Like people for you and I, it's the people, yeah, like putting it on a platform. They keep like changing like the extensions from like .to to like .fp .sx. It's just like a shell game. It's like,
yeah,
genie's out of the bottle.
Right. I always think of those old preview commercials on DVDs or whatever. It's like, you wouldn't steal a car. It's like, I would if I could copy one and create one out of complete thin air for free and it wasn't hurting anybody. Yeah, I probably would.
And get off virtually scot-free.
Yeah.
Sure. I thought for a second you were going to say you were going to bring up the preview channel, the thing that used to scroll, like the virtual TV guide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and you would miss it? I'm like, oh, fuck. 96 channels to go.
Get sucked into that death loop. That was the precursor to like doom scrolling on your phone.
Are you sure you don't want anything to drink?
Take a quadruple Hennessy with the gin back.
That sounds fucking brutal. Quad Hennessy with a gin back, dude. Talk about take your breath away.
Yeah, I'm sure I told you already, but a buddy of mine, they were playing golf and he asked his friend, who I think let me get what did he say? A vodka cran? And he came back with a vodka crown.
Woof.
I bet the bartender was like, all right, sure. It's your funeral.
Hey, you're world boss. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. What's the worst bar drink or shot concoction you've ever had in your entire life?
I actually haven't spent a lot of time in bars.
Or something that you cooked up when you were like you stole a bottle of creme de menthe or something when you're 16. Like,
oh boy,
cooked up some vile shit.
Yeah, it's called Bacardi. If I smell that now to this day, I probably will gag. That shit is filth. God, I'm trying to think. I mean, Malort's pretty bad. I don't know. Robitussin, that's pretty bad. We used to drink that quite a bit.
What do they call that? Robo tripping?
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing it the amateur way, though. Kids nowadays fucking shove it up their ass and butt chug it. So,
Lupin?
yeah. I
Lupin
remember
the Third?
our buddy Tyler, we were at a bar one time, and he's like, how much is a double shot of Crown? And the lady's like, $38. And he's like, all right, let me get a double shot of Jack. And she's like, okay, don't throw up on my bar. And it was like $36.
Yeah. You rookie. Should have gone with the well stock.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do the mat shot.
What do they call that? Zamboni or gorilla fart or something?
I thought it was just like a mat. I don't know.
It's got a bunch of names.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a bar scene kind of guy. It's like fucking loud, busy as shit. Like, that's just my nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't get too hard into the bar scene. I preferred to, do house party kind of thing. But I did go out one time, and I got, for my 21st birthday, I got what they call it, at least in Chico, it was common, but they called it a stoplight. You ever heard of that?
No.
It's 3 shots, and it's like a stoplight. It's green, like a yellow, orange, and red.
Okay.
And they ramp you up, so you hit the green light, and it's like Midori and like fucking something like
hypnotic
sweet
or
and sour.
something.
Yeah, hip, and just like sweet and sour mix, like really easy baby drink. And then I think they put like Jose Cuervo and like a little bit of orange juice in for, and maybe something else for the yellow. And then the red was like hot damn, like something 150, like maybe Bacardi 151 and something else red. I can't, maybe like Aftershock or something.
Yeah.
And that's like the hardest, like most brutal one. That was pretty rough. That and like I think a Dead Nazi I got one time was pretty brutal. I think it was Jack, Jaeger, and Rumpelminz equal parts in one shot.
Fucking foul.
Yeah,
I used to.
That'll put hair on your ass.
I used to live with a buddy of mine who played baseball at the local college, so we would hang out with like other baseball players, and these guys were just absolute drinking machines. And it would always fucking annoy the shit out of me when they're like, let's go to the bar and get an adios motherfucker, dude. Oh, God. AMF? Let's go get an AMF or 20. You got blow?
Yeah. That's the drink that'll lead to that. Key bumps in the bathroom for sure.
But then these fucking animals would get up and run like 10 miles in the morning.
At like 5:30.
Yeah.
I've known a couple people like that. I knew a firefighter that would like go super hard and like wake up at 5 and like stick his arm down his throat and just fucking heave everything out of it and then chug like a gallon of water and then be out the door like with sweat running down his face at like 5:45. It's like, dude, that's another gear.
Yeah, those are the same miles, but those are hard miles he's putting on, on that body.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All right. So welcome back to Waxing the Porpoise. We're back again on, is this 85 or 84?
It depends, because I think there's one that's in purgatory somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I think we're on 85.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. But we're reviewing Devil in a Blue Dress from 1995, a lesser seen, probably in the Denzel canon filmography. It's for sure lesser seen. As usual, you got myself, Jim G-Baby.
Business is business.
Stand on it.
Dude, I love that clip so much.
Yeah, me too. And as usual, we have the usual suspect, Steve.
It's my adopted son, Jesus.
How's it going, man?
Oh man, that scene in particular is really gross. Looking back,
yeah, when you look back on it, yeah, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it was sweet in the moment, but then, yeah, but that Cam Newton clip you played, the guy is just such a weirdo that when you first sent it to me, I was like, oh yeah, cool. He's got a weird hat and he's saying bizarre shit, but then when the guy's like, oh, they give you a player's discount for that, he's like, fuck no.
Yeah.
that single-handedly turned me like, this guy rules. He gets it.
Yeah. Dude.
Stand on it.
I grew up kind of hating, or not grew up, but watching his career unfold, because like following him from his junior, senior year at Auburn.
Yeah.
And then on through to the NFL.
Scam Newton. Scam Newton.
Yeah. There's something about him I just didn't really like, but in retrospect and like seeing the stuff like that he actually did on the field and like how he carried himself, he wasn't like the prima donna. I think that people like kind of put him in that class, the same as like a Terrell Owens or like Chad Ochocinco. I don't think it was quite in that realm. But the shit he's doing now on his show, I think it's called like 4th and 1, or he does a couple things, but dude, his attire is fucking bananas. And I love it. He's got like these weird fucking hats too. It's not just like these really, it's like those hats with where the middle part's exaggerated, like really high, you know?
Yeah.
Like a cowboy hat where the top. And he also has these like custom looking, like one of one, like baseball hats, but they're really tall. Like the head, dude, they're so fucking funky.
He's an insane person, but it's funny.
He's wearing like ascots and like the glasses with those like what are they, like that you put on your ears, you know, and they kind of swing down. They look like drapes on your glasses, like the old women wear and shit, like where they can take their eyeglasses off and they'll just rest right here on your chest.
Oh, like the wraparound little chain deal? Or?
He's got them, they hang down. They do this little loop right here in front of his glasses. Like it looks like he's wearing, it's like a chandelier, like holding these.
I don't know.
He's just got the most gaudy shit that but he's got some really good fucking insights and commentary. I'm digging Cam Newton's show. I'm on Team Cam for sure. It's kind of weird. I saw someone comment on that, like now, like you see the popularity of the Kelsey brothers and their podcast.
Oh God, go away.
More people are getting like into it. It's showing like a different side of like, you're getting to see like the inside of things and seeing players. Like before, you'd see like read an article in Sports Illustrated, or you hear a soundbite on Sports Center, you catch at the end of the night, you know, and they're just being hit by reporters. It's kind of it's a weird time now that there's all these different platforms where people can, you know, you can get inside look.
You can see their personality a little more. I do like that.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, the Kelsey brothers, it's a perfect example of
everywhere.
When like the market gets onto something and they just drive it into the ground because they're like, this is popular. We're just going to milk this until there's nothing left. But yeah, I do like seeing professional athletes' personality more because, like you were saying, in the past, it was like that super generic canned, like, hey, you know, we're just going to go out there and play the best we can. And at the end of the day, you gotta respect the other team and may the best man win. But now,
take things one day at a time.
Yeah, you know, just one day at a time. You got to give those guys a lot of credit over there. They played hard, and you know,
Bull Durham,
Lord willing. Yeah, exactly.
Your shower shoes have fungus on them. Oh man, I haven't flashed back to that in a while. All right, so Devil in a Blue Dress.
Do not come.
This is one I've only seen a couple times, but I really liked it, and I just kind of set it down and haven't revisited it a bunch throughout my life. It is kind of harder to find too, because I mean, just in the mix of older films, but especially in Denzel's catalog, which is a mile long, I think it's easy to get lost in all of the great performances that he's had. But even with that said, I think this still holds up for me. And I'd say it's probably somewhere in like his top third of movies, like his performances. What did you think of this one? And had you ever, is this a total blind spot? Have you never heard of this one before?
Yeah, never heard of it at all. The movie is pretty good. I liked it. The cast is unreal. Like, yeah, Don Cheadle, Tom Sizemore, Denzel, they all did a great job. I thought the story was a little weak, but I think that is sort of a byproduct of, I don't know how many movies there are out there like this, but we've done 2 before in Chinatown and LA Confidential, and I feel like this one is definitely the third best out of those 3.
Oh,
it's a tough category to put yourself in. You know, like if you were going to make a movie about a prison break or something, you're automatically putting yourself up against like Shawshank and other classics.
Escape from Alcatraz with Eastwood.
Yeah, I mean it's a good movie. I'll say pretty good, but just by comparison, I felt like it was just not as good as those others, which is kind of an unfair way to compare it. But I mean, how could you not? It's like
it's the same. We're looking at 30s, 40s LA noir, neo noir kind of thing. It's like a whodunit or get in over your head and
political corruption.
Yep, you got the mayor thing going on in the background. So
yeah, I thought the story was kind of clunky. I don't know if it was just me, but I was sort of having a hard time. Even once it's fully resolved, I was having a hard time figuring out like, but wait, why did this person do that? Or I don't know. It wasn't quite as clear. I was reading the Wikipedia synopsis, and there were little details in there that I was like, I don't remember this from the movie, but this helps clear it up a little bit. But
yeah, I think there's a couple points in the background that they kind of spotlight real quickly, but then you're back with Easy and people chasing him, and he's going from spot to spot, and they don't really come back to it or expand on it enough. Like, because I remember thinking that this watch too, like I was like, wait, the pictures, how does this tie in? Oh, the mayoral race, and then
where did they come from originally? Like, how did she get them? And
I had some questions about her. I was a little suspect about her, like, cause she was just, I mean, that's something pretty fucked up and heinous, like kids getting diddled and like a child prostitution or pedophile ring going on with the higher echelons of polite society in LA, and she's using it as like a power play to fucking cash out. Is what it seemed like to me. Because she could have done the right thing and turned him over. I mean, someone would have got burned, but yeah, I'm a little. She's kind of a dubious character for me in all of this too.
Well, and also without giving too much away, the ending was also confusing. Like, well, the very end was like a weird saccharine sweet, like Pleasantville shot, which I didn't really get. But even the scene with her and the mayor, it's like, wait, they're not going to stay together? Like, what the fuck was the point of her doing all this shit then, if not to protect him? And now she's gone. There was a lot that, didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like her big secret, like the big reveal, I was like, oh, that's kind of not that big of a deal. I'm sure it was back then, but
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's it? I kind of was expecting more. Well, and yeah, like we said, Don Cheadle, his character was awesome. Tom Sizemore, badass.
Pretty great.
Denzel, obviously.
Kills it and everything.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sizemore, he plays this kind of a villain, like a hood, like really, really well. And he's got an air around him that I really dig, like his acting style. But yeah, Cheadle's fucking awesome. Loved him. My favorite part's when he's like drunk and
Oh,
Easy
yeah.
gets up and he fucking draws on him. And he's like, "Oh, wait, I'm drunk." And he's like, "Look at that." And he puts it right in his chest. He's like, "Right there." Like he plays belligerent really well. Yeah, I loved his character, Mouse. Yeah, Denzel kills it. The gal in here who's I guess the the devil in a blue dress is played by Jennifer Beals, who you're probably not.
No, I looked at her IMDb. Nothing on there looked familiar to me.
She was like one of those kind of like you might hear the name Molly Ringwald and be vaguely aware like through osmosis, so like Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles and all that. And then there's like Phoebe Cates, who was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I feel like Jennifer Beals, those three actresses I think of because they shot up really high in like the late 80s kind of with a couple seminal films that are still loved to this day. And then their career trajectory kind of just like plateaued, and then they just kind of went away and did smaller things. They weren't like a staying power. So like Jennifer Beals, who's in this, she shot to like superstardom with Flashdance.
Is she the main gal?
Yeah, I'm a maniac. Yeah, that's her. So I think she was in like one or two other things of note. But yeah, that she didn't really do anything beyond this. I think this was like the last like high profile thing that she's done. But yeah, it's just weird that like a few of these women who were just like had the world in their palm of their hand for this really short period of time, and then they just went away.
So, as you know, I'm not a big movie buff, but I just made the connection the other day that in the similar vein, Anthony Michael Hall, right, who everybody knows, I never made the connection that him in The Breakfast Club, he's the same kid in National Lampoons, and I've seen both of those a bunch, but for some reason I just never made the connection that was the same kid, and I felt really, really dumb.
Oh yeah, which one is that? Is that just Vacation 1?
Yeah,
I think he's Rusty.
Yeah,
is he in any other Vacations?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
I think he's just in the one. But yeah, he's Rusty.
Yeah.
What?
And I haven't seen like Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles or any of the other stuff that he's in.
I saw those a lot later in life, but yeah, he's been in a lot of shit. He's kind of one of the few that kind of made it out of that, like The Breakfast Club. I mean, you got Emilio, Mighty Duck Man himself, but like Judd Nelson didn't really do anything. Yeah, Michael Hall. He's done a lot of stuff kind of later. He's had like a late renaissance for him a little bit, but yeah,
there was also
Weird Science.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in probably 25 years. I will say that, what was the guy's name? Odell, the guy who kept going around trying to cut down trees.
Yes.
I kept thinking,
what was his trip?
So unnecessary. I kept thinking he was going to have like a Hodor moment in the end where he was going to stumble across somebody and his axe was going to come in handy, but he just continued to be a weird nuisance who hated trees the entire time, which added absolutely nothing to the movie. Yeah. I was a little bummed by that.
He did kind of have a small Hodor
when he's
moment.
Like, there's a guy.
There's a guy. Yeah, he's like, hey, Mr. Rawlins, hey. And at the last second, he's like, there's a man. And he turns and it's like, boom. He's like, fuck.
All right, fair enough.
Like, say that earlier.
Yeah.
Say there's a man earlier. Yeah, that was a weird. And dude, I felt the same thing. I was like, this movie is kind of anticlimactic because it resolves and there's like 15 minutes left still, like 13 minutes, which is I was like, this kind of a story. I was like, what else is there? What's this other 12 minutes going to be? And it is a really like, they just juice up the fucking cheese like it's a sentimental, like real sugary saccharine. I was like, I don't remember that, but it does resolve itself kind of in a like it doesn't jive with the rest of the way the movie feels. But I think they were trying to set something up, because at the end he talks about, he's like, what are you gonna do now, Easy? He's like, I think I might get into some private investigating, some real estate, like, because from this case, this is based on like a series of books, and this is book 1 where he does become, so it's kind of like a Perry Mason thing, like he's kind of thrust into, he becomes a lawyer, and then so Easy gets thrust into this role, and he like gets a taste or a knack for being a PI, and then it continues like 2 or 3 more books, maybe 4, but I guess they tried to make like a pilot. They wanted to turn this into a series and continue it in like 98, and it just didn't get picked up. So,
I mean, you mentioned it, and I totally forgot about it. The HBO Perry Mason series is like another thing that's a way better version of this.
Oh yeah. After this, I was like, fuck, I want to revisit P. Mason now, because it's. If you could compare, if you're comparing like TV shows and movies, which I don't really like to do, I like to keep them in separate boxes, but I feel like Perry Mason has like an edge to it, like a grain to it that puts it closer to like Chinatown and like the grittiness of or LA Confidential. Whereas this kind of felt, Devil in a Blue Dress kind of felt like LA Confidential light, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah,
a little duller around the edges, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I forget what I was just going to say, but yeah.
So just to get some quick facts out of the way. So we're in, like we said, we're in 1940s LA, and we're following Denzel, who plays, awesome name, by the way, Ezekiel Easy Rawlins. He's a World War II vet. And he's come back, and he got his GI Bill. He saved up some money, and he's actually a homeowner, which is kind of rare. But he is. It does show kind of like the segregation in this kind of. That's one thing I haven't really seen in film a lot. Like we're looking through the POV of Easy in a black neighborhood. I think it's like the district is like Central Avenue is like the neighborhood he's in that's segregated. But he does own his own home. And it just kind of shows him he's like at a low point. He's just gotten let go. He's got to make ends meet. He's got like a sense of pride. He's got a chip on his shoulder, but he's got the house, and he doesn't want to.
Can I say two things real quick? One, I remember what I was going to say before, which this might be unpopular, but I didn't really care for the narration that Denzel did.
No. Horrible.
I just didn't. I don't even know why I didn't like it, but every time it came over, I was like, oh, fuck. Can we just move on?
This is like the Blade Runner curse, because the original theatrical release of Blade Runner had a voiceover narration, and it was just like this. I was like, God, because later on in like the director's cut and everything, they took it out, and to me, it's much better film without. But I was like, they would have been so much better served to take out that narration, because there's a couple points where he slips in things in the narration that just tie things together. Like at the very end, the reason why the mayor and the gal don't get together, he's like, I guess there's some lines that people still don't want to cross, like
you're right.
That's why it's like it's cheap, it's just, you just write it in, it's in the narration, poof, it's gone. You don't get to see it play out. You don't see, I mean, for all the investigating he does, I don't think the narration adds anything, and it doesn't sound particularly inspired, too.
No, and I mean, it just sounds like he's reading, and
yeah, he's not putting like it. It's
yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. This should be all cut out of the movie. It's stupid.
The other thing I was going to say is when he's getting let go from whatever his job is at that aviation company, I was wondering what you were thinking as somebody who's also had to like manage people who, if you're firing somebody, there's a part of your brain that's like, I wonder if this is somebody I would want to maybe bring back in the future. And if you went to leave, like, sorry, fella, it's just, it's not going to work out. If he like steps in front of you in the door and it's like, my name's not fella. I'm like, oh God, I'm clearly making the right choice. Yeah. I don't know. That definitely just struck me like, oh God, I can just imagine being that boss. Like, thank you for proving my point, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, so he gets unceremoniously fired from his job, so he's kind of left high and dry. And then his buddy at the bar, Joppy, gets him a line on some work with a shady character played by Tom Sizemore. And then from there, I mean, I won't go through the rest, but he just kind of gets, it starts small, do this thing for me. And then, before you know it, he's at different places where, then someone ends up murdered, and the walls start kind of closing in on him, and he almost realizes it too late. You could maybe argue that he does realize it too late, that he was set up, he was lined up to be a pawn in all of this the whole time. And luckily he's got his boy Mouse. He's able to call up from Houston that really saves his ass in all of this. But yeah, it just kind of goes from there, like just getting deeper into some political intrigue in 1940s LA, and trying to figure out how he can clear his name, because now he's fucking dug himself a hole. And
so do you know the IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes score on this one?
I think I flashed to the IMDb. Well, I'm on there right now, 6.8. Yeah. I didn't see the Rotten.
So
Rotten
6.8 is a little low, but it makes sense.
Pretty respectable for IMDb.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the like 7.1, 7.3 that everything seems to fall into, but what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes critic and audience score is?
I feel like this is going to be a dog on both fronts. I'm going to go like, I'll go like 40, somewhere in the 40s for both across the board, critic and audience.
Well, I hope you're sitting down, because the audience score is 71 and the critic score is 92.
Holy shit.
That was very surprising to me as well. So I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know if that's just like ultimate respect for Denzel or the cast or what, but I was very, very surprised. I mean, the 6.8, that didn't really surprise me that much. Like, yeah, it's kind of just middling, but yeah. 92 and 71, I was like, Jesus Christ, did I watch the same thing?
Yeah, that's wild. I'd probably put this right there in like somewhere in the 70 range, like a solid 75 if we're going on a scale of 100. But yeah, that's crazy. We got a 92 critic. Wild. Yeah, this one kind of got buried in like the mid late 90s era of stuff going on. I don't see it mentioned a whole lot, so I'm glad it's got a little bit of respect out there on its name. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth a watch.
I love that scene in the beginning where they're explaining Tom Sizemore is explaining about Daphne, how they're trying to find her, and he's like, she has a predilection for the company of Negroes. I just love that line so much.
They're definitely using the word Negro left, right, front, and center in this film.
Well, and that's the more polite word that they're using, left, right, and center.
Yeah, they do use the other word, but I don't think they
hard R's in this one.
There are there are some hard R's in this one, but I don't think they overplay it the way like old Tarantino likes to.
Yeah, that is a weird thing that he does.
I guess Denzel. I was reading a thing that I can't remember what film set, or I think that Denzel was shooting something and Tarantino came to that set and Denzel had a beef with him. I think this is pretty close to Pulp Fiction, like somewhere in the 90s, like post Pulp Fiction, and he saw him on the set and he fucking went up to him and like kind of barked at him and like disparaged him a little bit, like kind of just tell him what he thought of him exploiting that in his films, and like why do you got to say it so much and shit like this. So
interesting.
I thought that was kind of interesting that Denzel, because he seems pretty I don't know if laid back is the term, but he doesn't seem like he'd be a very confrontational person like that, you know? Like, I don't know.
No, I would agree with that for sure.
Oh, but yeah, when you compare this, if you stack up and look at Denzel's filmography, which is at this point, it's pretty staggering. It's easy for this one to get lost in the mix. But with that said, I think if you sat down and looked at it all and kind of sifted through them, I feel like Devil in a Blue Dress would kind of rise to that top third of the shit that he's been in. So, I mean, he's been in some stinkers, like Virtuosity with Russell Crowe is pretty bad. That's a guilty pleasure of mine though. But it's renowned as a bad film. But then like for every one of those, you got like Antoine Fisher, like The Great Debaters, Remember the Titans, Philadelphia, Glory, Cry Freedom, like all these like fucking, you know, AAA features.
I haven't seen any of those. I think, is Glory the Civil War one with Matty Broderick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have seen that one.
That was Denzel's first Oscar. And then his second he got for Training Day.
Seen that one.
Yeah,
still need to see
Day.
Still need to see the third Equalizer. I mean, 1 and 2 were bangers. So
yeah, I haven't seen the third yet either. I think it's out. It's pretty available on streaming, but I've been meaning to. I haven't seen Flight. I've heard a lot of good things about his performance. I've seen fucking God knows how many shorts of where he's like, "I'm drunk now."
Do not come.
God, I watched a thing of Kamala Harris and of her word salad.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of politicians and word salad, dude,
she is.
I had no idea.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
in the bullshit, political speech.
The past
category.
6 or 8 years, I've kind of just glossed her over.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard any. Wasn't aware of. The only thing I knew is she was a former AG, and that's it. Like I had never heard her actually say things.
Oh man, you've been missing out, buddy. It's dude, so good.
I heard one recently, and it was so painful. And her cackles and her like awkward laughs in between, like. Dude, there was this one where she has these like anecdotes or sayings, I think, that she just makes up in the moment.
Yeah.
And she expects other people, like this one the other day, she said it and it was...
She sounds like she's high on edibles all the time.
It comes in the morning.
It's like she's...
Totally.
The other people listening to her talk, like at the microphone, they're like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, it was so hard to watch this one interview. Oh my God, she's talking about like culture and like what it means. And I was like, that was brutal. Anyway, back to the flick.
That is one heartbeat away from running this country, buddy. That is one
literally
one fluttering angina filled
one more dying quail.
Yeah.
One more ground ball with eyes.
Things are good.
What'd you think of the like I said, I felt it was a little anticlimactic, but like the final showdown in the cabin scene. What did you think of that? Did you feel like it was a little anticlimactic too, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a as I try to be a responsible gun owner, the way he like bashes through the window and just starts firing indiscriminately, that just made me nervous. Because she's right there, and then he's like shooting without looking through the window. It's oh Jesus Christ, dude! I did love when he got back to the car and Mouse had dispatched of the guy. And this is like my second favorite line of the whole movie. He's like, if you didn't want him killed, why'd you leave him with me?
Yeah. He's like, I told you not to shoot him. He's like, well, I didn't shoot him. I strangled him. You didn't say not to do that. It's like, oh, fuck.
It's like, I couldn't be bothered to tie him up, so I just strangled him to death.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was funny when I started it. I might have missed it, but the only warnings I saw were like smoking, drinking, and foul language. Nothing about people getting shot in the face or shot in the chest or, cut or... I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, there were... I mean, it wasn't super brutal, but the few deaths that you do see, I think it's... The two henchmen are probably the most brutal. The dude who catches a stray in the neck and kind of bleeds out. And then the dude in the dome. Yeah. That one, I was like, oh. And then I was hoping, I was hoping for a little bit more like cat mouse with Sizemore. He kind of just gets dispatched and fucking rolls over. He takes one in the gut and fucking, he gone. Like,
yeah.
And then that's where I was sitting. I was like, 15 minutes left. I was like, this is what we're culminating to here,
right.
Like, what else? And then it's like that weird, it's like another anticlimactic when he fucking meets up with the mayor and he's like, yeah, we got the pictures and like, here's the gal. And that felt very artificial to me, very forced, like their love. It's like you love each other so bad. It's like, and she's hiding the fact that she's half black. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And you're fine. It's like, it seems like you've gotten all your leaks and your holes, like your opposition. You just hit with the child diddling and stuff. He's away. It's like, who else do you have in front of you? I guess maybe he's thinking like down the road, like this is a vulnerability for me. Maybe
to look at it in the light most fair. Let's assume that she does love him, and that's why she went through all this shit to get the pictures, to get his political rival to drop out of the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing he says to Denzel is, I do love her, but that makes me think that he broke it off with her because his family disapproved so much.
Yeah, and I think that's where the narration he comes in and he talks about, is like, as much as they loved one another or whatever, it goes to show you that, there's still some lines that, the privileged elite aren't willing to cross.
Yeah.
And that kind of
bookends
it there.
But that at least makes sense to me, but I wish they would have explained, like, well, how did his rival, the pedo, like, how did he figure out that she's half black? And it was funny going back to the line where she prefers to accompany a Negro or whatever it was. He's like, pig's feet, jazz, dark meat. Like, well, if she's half black, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do not come.
That was the wrong one.
It's my adopted son, Jesus.
Yeah, later on, that's like,
yeah,
fucking creepy old fucker.
Yeah, so I was looking at negative reviews because it brings me joy. And none of them were like way over the top. They were all just pretty fair criticisms of a mediocre movie. But man, the Amazon negative reviews are just an absolute treasure trove of mental illness. And so I pulled out 3. I'll just start with 1 because they're so bizarre. Like the first one is the reviewer named China Touche 1. She gave this film 1 out of 5 stars, and it says in all caps, "I'm a 70-year-old woman with tiny hands. When I remove the disc, it snapped in 2 in my hands. Now I have to use my expensive printer ink to print a return label." Very relevant review. I'm a 70-year-old woman.
Pardon me, Mr. Perfect!
It's like, isn't that an email you send to the fucking manufacturer?
To somebody in like the
I'm gonna rate the movie now based on the physical.
Making $2 a day to just write back like, I'm so sorry. Harry, I took care of it.
Oh boy.
So also the title of the movie is kind of strange. So
yeah, to me it was telegraphing, like, I guess, because there's a couple scenes where she wears blue.
Or is it just like they liked the song and they had the name of it before they made the movie? Like,
I don't remember the song even being used in this film.
It wasn't. No.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Baseball.
Yeah, I was hoping that she had like a rogue turn at the end. Like she was going to be like, it was all me, or like, I thought maybe not even that, but I thought she was going to have like some kind of nefarious through line, and she isn't like this perfect angel that you thought. I thought that would have been a little bit more satisfying. Maybe. I don't know how I would have done it, but I thought that's what was coming, seeing how much time was left and the title of the film. I thought maybe that was going to come through in some way, but
yeah, kind of like the ghostwriter, which we just did. Like, she's the ultimate mastermind, where maybe she was blackmailing her boyfriend to, you know, propel herself into some, like, she wanted to become the mayor, or who the fuck knows? I don't know. But well, I was kind of waiting for that too. Like, oh, she's the mastermind behind all this.
Right. I mean, she did kind of, like I alluded to earlier, I mean, she was looking to get something out of this as well, like financially. Like, there was a lot of money being thrown around for the pictures, and like, I think she was being opportunistic in all of this too, but
but she also gave away a ton of money just to get those pictures back.
That's true.
And she just skipped town.
Yeah, she offered like $7,000 to Easy, and I think he alluded to like her saying she paid more originally or something like that. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, because she
could be way off base.
She got 30 from the White family to go away. She paid 7, I think, for the pictures initially, and then she offered another 7 to Easy to get him back.
Right.
So,
dude, I loved Mouse's reaction because Mouse is about to blow Joppy's head off, who was kind of like the linchpins, like the connection to Jennifer Beals' character. Yeah. He actually shoots. He fucking turns around and shoots fucking 2 rounds at him, blows out the back of the fucking the back window, and Denzel's like, dude, $7,000, Mouse, come on. And then,
dude. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
I love something about that reaction of Don Cheadle. Oh my goodness. Like, he totally flipped when the dollar values started getting mentioned. Yeah, I liked him a lot in this.
I mean, that scene when he first comes in, when what's his bucket is about to kill him with the knife. So good.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. He's like, you gotta have somebody out here watch your back, Easy. He's like, yeah dude. Fucking A. I did like that part too. When Sizemore's trying to like kind of curry favor with Denzel, and he comes up to those pack of white kids on the pier that are about to give Denzel some trouble, and he fucking
it's like, what do you want? I want to see your brains. Like, oh, that is some cold shit.
But after he fucking just like completely humiliates that one dude and pistol whips him, or like hits him in the fucking ear with the butt of the gun, and he's like,
I'm calling cops. I'll kill you.
He's such an intense fucker. I'll kill you. I kept thinking of that. You don't know when to shut up. You don't know how to shut up. I'm going to shoot you in your big goddamn mouth. God, I love him in Private Ryan. Rest in peace. Pour one out.
Yeah, it is really sad. He had a rough go.
Yeah. It's crazy though. Like, I think he's another figure Sizemore. Like, you look at his filmography, him in Heat, Private Ryan, he was in a lot of stuff that I think kind of gets overlooked. But yeah,
I mean, he's so goddamn good in Saving Private Ryan. Like, even when he gets shot in the end, he's like, "I'm fine. I just got the wind knocked out of me."
Yeah,
so good.
Or even before that, like the more like the less gruff moments of him, like when he's talking to Hanks as they're approaching like that bridge, and he's like, maybe if we do this thing, we'll all earn the right to go home. Like kind of the more somber moments, punctuated by him being like, "We're in business," and fucking throwing his baseball-sized chalk.
Yeah.
But and then you zoom in on him and how he's like very meticulous about making sure he's got all the sand from the different continents and different places he's been, like I remember my grandma was like that. Like anytime she'd go to like you go in her hutch, pictures and shit, she'd have little glass things and say like Fort Bragg 1976 or whatever, She always used to love getting little things of sand anytime they went to the beach. So any hoodles.
A bag of sand?
Dude, one thing I remember of this too, I remember the trailer. I remember in the trailers for movies like in the 90s, I feel like they used to be like that time when I was like growing up. There's a bunch of them that are just like stamped in my brain, like little one-liners. Like it was a Phantom Punch, shit like that.
Oh yeah.
This one I forgot about, and I was like, dude, I do remember seeing that all the time. It's one of the moments when he's bashing Joppy's marble bar that he's very particular about, and he's all, "Don't lie to me," like,
"Don't lie to me."
Boom. Like that was a stinger in the trailer. Like I remember it. I was like, fuck, dude. I remember watching that trailer so many times, and he's like, "Don't lie to me." Boom. Like it's like, "In this summer's hottest nude picture with Denzel, don't lie to me." Tring. Like Don Cheadle this summer. That's one thing I miss too, the movie voice guy. Like that used to be like, it's like every trailer had to have this and sound like this. And then like somewhere along the way, it got put out to pasture for like now the big trend over the past 5 years. I don't know if you noticed this, is using like an older song from like the 80s or the 70s or something, and like having it like an orchestra play it, and then they like turn the reverb up and then they slow it way down for like dramatic effect in like movies now. I think they did it like picture like Dunkirk or like movies like that, and they'll have I can't remember. I think there's can't remember what song it is, but they do that a lot now. That's becoming like, okay, you don't need to do this for every film. But all right. Oh, do you have any more bad reviews before we move along to the next segment?
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Did you have two more or one more?
I have two more.
I know we kind of went off on a side quest there.
Oh man, the type of person who puts these reviews in, that almost makes me laugh just as much as their weird reviews. So this is from Janet Mercer. She also gave it 1 star out of 5. It says, 1 star, great movie, but I didn't order it. What the fuck does that even mean?
1 star, great movie,
but I didn't order it. So maybe an Amazon package just showed up at her door?
Or she purchased something to stream, and there was we fixed the glitch. It glitched and
I did see a bunch of one-star reviews that were like, the download didn't work. Okay.
That's not the movie's fault.
I don't know what to tell you.
That sucks.
It comes in the morning.
All right. You got the finale for us?
Yeah, I hope I didn't build it up too much. But so this is Todd. 1 out of 5 stars also. The title of his review is I Don't Want Commercials. And the body of his review says, I stream through Amazon Prime for no commercials. I don't like this.
Is that it?
Like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't like this.
You get a horse and live in the mountains someplace and don't bother anybody.
Damn. That's 3 that were all completely unrelated to the movie. And the gal actually liked it.
Yeah. Completely batshit.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I felt I'd be pretty remiss if we didn't have a Denzel devotional for coming back around to a Denzel film. So got one of those set up for us here.
And now it's time for our weekly Denzel devotional. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Forgot how long that bump was too. This one I just pulled from. This is a part of John Q that fucking will melt your nutsack off.
I am not gonna bury my son.
Always listen to your mother. She's your best friend. You're too young for girls right now, but there's gonna come a time. When it does, you treat them like princesses. That's what they are. When somebody chooses you, we talked about this. You stand up, you be a man. You stay away from the bad things. Please. Don't get caught up in the bad things. There's so many great things out there for you. Never leave. I'm always with you. Right there.
Dude, John Q, his last words to his son. Whew.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast. This one too, I fucking love.
I promised someone that I love very much that I would never go back to being that person. But for you, I'm going to make an exception.
Dude, that is the best part of that entire movie.
Stone cold.
In case you haven't seen it, listeners, that's from the first Equalizer, and that whole scene is so fucking good. Best part.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
All right, cool. I know we glossed over Devil in a Blue Dress. You get the gist. It's a lesser, if you're comparing it in that stable of 1940s LA flicks, it's you're definitely not going to get as much mileage with the LA Confidentials and Chinatowns of the world, but I think it's a solid watch. It still holds up. This is probably the 3rd or 4th watch for me, but yeah, I enjoyed revisiting it for sure. You'll definitely scratch that kind of noir, that 40s, 50s LA kind of vibe if you're looking for that. And I mean, not to overshadow the film we reviewed, but anytime I get a chance, I tell people if you're itching for something like this, Perry Mason's fucking pretty top notch too. Matthew Rhys fucking kills it. Shea Wiggum, his partner, I can't remember his name in the show. He's fucking awesome too. I love him.
Yeah.
And I like his arc in season 2 particularly. And the gal that he works with, John Lithgow in season 1's a fucking beast too. So good. I was so fucking burnt up when I saw HBO wasn't gonna renew it for season 3. I was like, you dirty motherfuckers. You dirty fucking dogs. But yeah, we gotta have a season 3 of fucking Euphoria, so Jesus Christ. Christ on a cracker. Oh, fuck. Dude, I forgot about what about the whole that him fucking Coretta, his like best friend's old lady in the room right next door.
Yeah,
dude.
that was really uncomfortable.
She was a weird figure in all of that. Like, where did she fit in all this too? Was she just trying to like, was she really trying to help a friend or like kind of get something on the side or both? But that scene particularly,
well, yeah, because they went so over the top to show that she was like playing him and she was playing her friend and just like making money at both ends. And I did think it was funny when the police came to roust him a little bit. I thought they were going to be like, she was fucked to death last night and we know it was you.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you got a basket on you, fella.
She died from being fucked too hard to death. So
yeah,
you're going down.
Dude, that was some really good acting too. Like when what's her fuck? Coretta?
Yeah.
She's luring him the whole time. Like, so they go out drinking and they drag back his buddy. I can't remember his name. And his buddy and his old lady, Coretta, who figures into this, but he's just drunk off his ass. Denzel's helping drag him inside the house, throws him on the bed. He's sleep.
Yeah.
Like, and there's some like, you can tell either they got a history or they have eyes for each other kind of thing. And it just maybe didn't work out. And she ended up with this dude, first, or she's with him now. But as soon as it's like, there's the opportunity, he's fucking assed out. They do this kind of little dance of the mind around the kitchen and they're talking. And he has a good line too. He's like, what people gonna say? When the people see the sunshine dip out on my toes in the morning, see me run out of here. And she's like, and I was like, Odell in the other bedroom over there. He's right there. And then she's all, he's asleep. Like, we're doing this whether you want to or not, buddy. And so they start going, pumping and sweating on the fucking couch.
Yeah.
Dude, that whole scene was fucking
all you're doing is nosing after my friend, Daphne.
Oh, yeah, no, baby, that's just a job. Just some man want me to find her.
What man?
I don't know what man, baby. I just, I don't know. I don't want nobody but you.
He played that so well. Like, he's like, I am a flea's dick away from nothing. You can't take this away from me right now. And then she's like, a little bit more. He's like, oh yeah, baby. They don't like how the octaves, like his vocal range goes so high at that point. But yeah, that did I was like, it's pretty dirty. And then even later on, after she's dead and they're sitting around the table, like kind of like laying low, and he's like, you want more tails, mouse? Like, and he's crying and he's like, I don't know what to do. And I mean, Easy's about like trying to do the right thing and this and that. And it's like, I guess we just won't talk about this, like, which is probably for the best, but it's like, still, it's like, that's your boy.
I was kind of waiting for the reveal that it was the husband that woke up and like knew what was going on and beat his wife to death. And like, I was kind of waiting for that misdirect, like, oh no, her getting killed had nothing to do with this other thing, but
yeah,
that didn't happen. So
yeah, that probably would have taken away one of those connections that Sizemore talked about for Easy to a murder. So maybe that would have taken some of the heat off of Easy, like within the story. So because without that, like, he's got the cops on him, like Sizemore's got blackmail on him. He can manipulate things, like, because he's using Easy as a pawn in all of this anyway. But yeah, this is actually, it's a pretty enjoyable movie. It's not going to reach the top tier hits in this same kind of milieu, but it's still a solid entry. So that noir, if you're itching for some noir that you haven't seen before, I would say like a bad example of this I watched recently for the first time was I think it's The Black Dahlia, and I think De Palma directed that, who's done a lot of shit, but namely like the director of Scarface. He did The Black Dahlia, about the Black Dahlia murder.
Yeah.
With Josh Hartnett.
Great band, by the way.
That they're like, what would you consider them, like black metal?
I would almost consider them like,
or like death.
Yeah, but they do it in like a funny sort of. They don't take themselves too seriously.
Kind of
even know.
Okay.
I don't even know what you would call it, but yeah, like death metal, speed metal, but they're funny. Like they're funny dudes. So
okay, I never got into them. I missed the boat on the Black Dahlia band.
Dude, they're good. They're good.
That movie though, horrible example of this. Like, I can't even put it into words. And they do a lot. They make a lot of weird decisions, but yeah, if you're in the mood for that, pass on Black Dahlia and give Devil in a Blue Dress a spin from '95. Yeah, I think that'll do it for us for this week. If you have any comments, complaints, concerns, hate mail, you can send us one at wax@waxingtheporpoise.com, or you can reach out to either of our socials. Instagram is @waxingtheporpoise, Twitter, X is @waxingtheporp. I'm just trying to take a peek at our schedule here. I think yet again I've been lagging on the social media sphere, giving people a heads up what we got coming the next week. And I think we're going to have more of the same. We're going to do a Valentine's Day themed episode where we'll cover So I Married an Axe Murderer. Special guest TBD. Also just released, so when this comes out, released last week was our spot on Ghoulish, where we covered Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. They just got around to covering. That was a lot of fun. So check them out. Our friends at Ghoulish University, anywhere you get your podcasts. Shout out to them, and thanks for having us on again, as usual. Always a great time. Steven, got any final thoughts?
No, I do not, James.
Alrighty. Well, that'll do it for us. We appreciate you guys listening. Leave us a rating, review, like, all that good stuff. And we will see you when we see you. And we will see you later.
Business is business.
Stand on it.